to day 2 of what I eat in a day. What an amazing workout dance is. I love to dance and I love soca music. So let's get into it, what I eat in a day. So of course I always start my day with lemon and water. So boring, stay consistent. That's what helps me. So yeah, lemon and water for breakfast. Then for lunch, I had a smoothie. This smoothie had almond butter, beets, actually not beets, just one small beet I put in the smoothie. Banana, 4. I put 4 dates in there, half an avocado. And for the almond butter, I put 1 tablespoon of almond butter. Super delicious. It was like, it was basically like a salad made sweet. For dinner, you know, I found this grocery store here in Southern California called Co-Opportunity, and they have ready-made like raw stuff there. So I got some raw hummus, and I made these wraps basically, and I'll put some resources in the challenge. The email that brought you here to this video, you'll see recipes on how to make this hummus and to put this wrap together. So here in Southern California, you know, there's a lot of healthy food supermarkets. Some of them offer ready-made raw food. So I found this one where it was like a raw dessert type of thing, right? I've tried their decadent cocoa or cacao, decadent chocolate or something it's called. And the other one had like coconut chocolate or something like that, and both of them have rum in it. It tastes just like Jamaican rum cake, but rum is like one of the last 2 ingredients, so just enough to give it that rum flavor without being like overpowering. So I was telling my cousin about it, and he's like, how could you be doing raw and this thing have rum? Like, is that raw rum? But this is what I wanted to tell you, is like, if you notice on the meal plan, not every little thing is raw. The spices aren't raw. The cold pressed olive oil, even that, they heat. So it's not that granular when you're talking about 100% raw. These little spices and little things like vanilla extract, of course, you can use that on the raw food diet, but it's not raw, you know? And that's completely fine. So you don't have to be really anal about it. You don't have to be super granular. It's still considered raw. So have fun. You know, you're only limited by your own creativity. So you can make your cultural dishes. Like I said, what I really loved about this is that it reminded me of Jamaican rum cake. And I haven't had that in so long. Anything that reminds me of Jamaican rum cake or grape nut ice cream or rum and raisin ice cream, like, I love it, because that's the stuff that I used to consume as a child. And of course, the foods you used to consume as a child, you know, it brings joy and comfort to your life. So just try and incorporate those same flavors with a vegan twist, and you can still have the foods that you love, just healthier. I've always been asked, like, I'm really into Ayurveda, so how can I recommend you to the people I work with who are into Ayurveda if you only promote a raw food diet? So I want to address that today. Some other questions too I'm going to address. First of all, I don't force any of my clients to consume a raw food diet, because it does not work for everyone in terms of where they are mentally and emotionally. If there's too much turmoil and change going on in their life, if I feel like it's going to be too difficult for them and they're going to hate the process of eating healthier, or they're just going to revert back to old ways because it's like a fad diet type of thing going on, then I'm not going to recommend that. I move my clients closer to their health goals by helping them get more plant-based, and I see how far I can push it through the coaching process. So it's a collaborative process. I don't force my clients to do anything they're not comfortable doing. And if I feel like it's not the right time for them to do something, I will definitely make them aware and give them an understanding how I've reached that conclusion, where my logic is coming from, to give them an opportunity to either explain to me if I'm in the right ballpark or not, right? So it's definitely collaborative. And I want to tell you that you should be doing the same thing with your doctors or anybody on your healthcare team. You should be working collaboratively with them, okay? They are not the dictators of your health. They don't know what's going on in your body. One of the things I love to say a lot is doctors are very smart people when it comes to pharmaceutical drugs. A lot of money and education is put into their schooling around pharmaceutical drugs, so they're very, well versed on that. And thanks to their schooling, they know a lot about like statistics, what generally happens to lots of bodies, but they don't know about your body in particular, and everyone's body is different. So this is why I love coaching so much, is because I tap in to you, the whole you, not just what you're eating, but how you're thinking, how you're feeling, what's going on in your life, so we can come up with a plan that will help take you from point A to point Z, which is where you're trying to be with your overall health goal. When it comes to Ayurveda, some things I love about Ayurveda. For those who are not familiar, Ayurveda, basically, they have 3 different personality types they break people into. You're either Kapha, Pitta, or Vata, and these are called doshas. And based on your dosha, you need to be eating a certain type of way for balance. So sometimes they'll recommend raw foods, but it's not going to be 100% raw. It's going to be a balance. And I like the bio-individuality aspect of that, because like I just said, everyone's body's different. What we disagree on is that they say if you have digestive issues, you should be cooking the food so there's less stress on the digestive system. Now, I understand why they would say that, and this is the same thing with doctors. You're only limited by your own understanding of how the body works. So it will make sense you would say that, which is why I'm glad you joined this challenge, so you can hear different perspectives and different modes of thought, different science and research and ideologies that are out there. If I have a client who is doing the raw food diet, or you are doing this raw challenge and you tell me I'm having digestive issues, which at this point you've already gotten the email where it covers digestive issues, but let's say you're eating, anyone that comes to me and they're telling me they're having digestive upset, I tell them keep a food journal for 3 days to pinpoint what foods are causing the digestive upset. Because even if you're on a cooked food diet, you could be eating foods that are inflammatory to your system, even if they're healthy foods. And eating cooked food all the time, it depletes your body of the enzymes needed to repair the intestinal lining. So if you're trying to be raw or eat high raw and you're having digestive issues, we want to remove the foods that are creating the digestive issues. Still continue to eat raw so you can repopulate, and probiotic food, so you can repopulate the healthy gut bacteria, strengthen the intestinal lining, and these foods you can possibly reintroduce them in like 12 months, 24 months, depending on how severe your gut is, what stage it is and damage and stuff like that. Yeah, when it comes to Ayurveda, I don't follow it really. I look at the body as holistic, and I do respect science, and I respect the massive amounts of case studies and, especially people close to me. I've had family members who've been told by doctors not to eat any raw fruits and vegetables, and their health declined dramatically to the point where the doctors were ready to give up on them, and the family was ready to see them dead, and they were brought back to life for 10 more years because of juicing and smoothies and incorporating more raw foods, basically doing the opposite of what the doctors were telling them. And of course, you have to do what you're comfortable doing, But I'm going to tell you the nutrients, the enzymes, all of that healing antioxidant power, that's in the raw foods. So you want to get that in as much as possible. Now, if you're into low carb, it's going to be really difficult to do low carb on a raw food diet. And I say that because carbs, fruits and vegetables, primarily fruits, is where you're going to get the majority of your calories from. But if you're interested in doing low carb, there is a show that I did with Meat Free Keto, so you can have the healthy, antioxidant-rich vegan keto plan that she offers, and I'll place the link in the description to this video for that. Also, there's some people doing raw keto, and there is a group on Facebook of those people. You can connect with them. You can find those groups. You definitely want to surround yourself with people who are doing it to make it easier for you, because that is pretty difficult. You would need to be able to consume a lot of fats. I know me personally, I'm not able to consume high amounts of fat without my stomach hurting. So I tend to keep my fats pretty low, probably not 80-10-10 too much all the time anymore, because I'm eating for my brain. So I'm doing a lot of chia seeds and avocado and flaxseed oil. So definitely way more fats than before, but I cannot go into the 40-50 range, 40-50% range with fats without feeling some type of pain. So that's not for me. But if that's for you, I can put the resources in the description to this video. If you're into paleo, that's great. I'm into paleo too. What I love about paleo is they want to eat as close to nature as possible. What we disagree on is, of course, inflammatory foods like meat, right? They're into meat, they're into bone broth for collagen. Honestly, you don't need to be drinking animal bones for collagen. You can consume Irish moss, and hopefully I'll have some resources on how to use Irish moss in the very near future, but that's a great collagen resource. With this raw food plan, hopefully you've noticed that it's very much whole fruits and vegetables in their whole natural form. So I'm definitely in line and supportive and agreement with paleo, as long as it's anti-inflammatory focus, which this raw food challenge and meal plan is all about. Now, how many of you have been so excited that you haven't had to cook and slave over a stove for the past 3 weeks? Tell me in the comments below. For those of you who wanted to do raw food and were concerned that you didn't have all the equipment or the right equipment, hopefully this challenge helped you see how you can do it with very minimal equipment. I personally have a minimalist kitchen, so I'm only working with a juicer and a blender right now, so no food processor, no dehydrator. I find that with just these two things, my raw food experience has been very cleansing, because I'm not eating a lot of dehydrated foods. I'm not eating too many heavy, dense foods. So it's very water rich, my foods. If you want to have more fun and play around, of course you can invest in these pieces of equipment, but you don't have to do that to be raw. So I hope you feel that, understand that, and know that going forward, if you ever want to do a 3-day or 7-day or another 30-day raw, you can do it with very little equipment. If I didn't have a juicer, if I didn't have a blender, I would just be eating whole fruits and vegetables, and that's totally fine, so it's definitely feasible. I'd be doing more monomeals, which I love to do a lot because it's just easier on the digestive system. It's quick and easy to prepare in the kitchen, and what that looks like is, let's say for breakfast or lunch, I'm just eating a whole big bowl of a pound of grapes, or 5 or 6 oranges, or 2 mangoes, or something like that. And so that's basically what monomealing is. And how many fruits I'm eating at a time depends on how many calories I want to consume. I personally am doing 1,200 calories a day, so I want to eat 3 meals a day so I'm not snacking all the time. So each meal is about 400 calories. So that's basically how I plan it. If I'm doing mangoes, one mango is 250 calories. So if I do 2 mangoes, that's 500 calories. That's going to be my meal. That's going to be my breakfast or my lunch. And so, yeah, that's how I do it. And if you want to know the calories of stuff, definitely use Chronometer. We covered that in the challenge. So hopefully you have a free account and you're tracking. All right, you guys, I hope you're having fun. And I will be back with another day of what I eat in a day. So if you want me to answer any questions or anything, let me know in the comments below. All right, take care.